next year, why not end up on a big stage?
For us, we really want to be remembered as we were able to keep the legacy going.
We're living in this moment, and we're going to win the national championship.
It's going to take a lot for someone to take that from us.
Welcome to the NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One. Well, we've got a rooting interest for you tonight in Indianapolis. Whether you like the dynasty on a record-breaking mission, or perhaps the underdog dreaming of the impossible upset. In our national championship game, it's the first-time finalist Syracuse embracing an opportunity for an upset tonight against the UConn Huskies, 10-0 in national championship games. And we welcome you to Indianapolis. I'm Beth Mowens, along with Doris Burke and Holly Rowe. It has been quite the four-year reign, Doris, a remarkable run of success, even by UConn's lofty standards. And here they are tonight now, standing on the threshold of reaching even greater heights.
When you combine the best coach in the history of the sport, Gino Auriemma, with the game's transcendent talent, Breanna Stewart, the player who will be the most accomplished player in the history of women's college basketball, you stand on the precipice, Beth, 40 minutes away from doing something no one else in college basketball history has done, win 4 straight. 40 minutes in Syracuse stand in their way.
Well, for UConn, they do have their full complement of seniors, but they are without a very important freshman, and Holly Rowe has that story.
Katie Lou Samuelson has started most of the season for Connecticut, but in Sunday's game, on the very first offensive possession of the game, she came down awkwardly and broke her left foot. To her credit, she played 17 minutes, scored 7 points on that broken foot, but she is unavailable tonight. Gino Auriemma has had Marines training their team all during the offseason, and they believe truly in that next man up mentality, and that will be Gabby Williams tonight. Coming off the bench, she has started 11 games for the Huskies this season. She's a sophomore. She said, you know, last year at this time my head was spinning. I was afraid of making a mistake, but right now she is playing her most confident basketball. A great defender, a great athlete. We expect her to bring something on the defensive end.
Well, thank you, Holly. So it's an adjustment for UConn. Syracuse, meanwhile, will be at full strength. And Doris, if you are going to pull off the biggest upset in basketball history, you better bring the swagger and the confidence, and Syracuse has both of those.
And that begins with Quentin Hillsman, their head coach. 10 years ago when he arrived at Syracuse, it was a program in desperate need of a talent infusion and a little bit of bravado. And if he had to manufacture it, so be it. He is a character, and he brings a certain style and formula to how they try to beat you. Their goal is to make 10 threes, and they'll do it in a variety of ways. And if it takes 40 attempts from 3 to do that, he will do it. This is the all-time single-season leader, Brianna Butler, with 128 threes, but it could come from any of 5 positions at any point in the shot clock. They will try to stretch you from all over. The other parts of the formula, well, turnover margin. This is a high-pressure, high-intensity, relentless defense, Beth, so they try to turn you over to the tune of 24 a game, and if they miss those threes, they're getting after the offensive glass.
That's the game plan for Syracuse. Can it help weave them a tall tale that would surprise even Cinderella and pull off the biggest upset in tournament history? We've got the opening tip coming up.
This is shaving. Blades here, blades there, some over there. Whoa, that's not a blade. This is shielding, with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields from irritation for a close, comfortable shave. The new Pro Shield from Gillette.
Remain in your home to hear an exciting bundle offer.
I'm not going back to coax.
No one's going back. Put down the remote, Rodney. We're making a break for it. Live TV. No long-term contracts. Cloud-based DVR.
Tell me about the live TV part again.
No, Rodney, but I'll show you.
It's beautiful.
Better TV starts now.
PlayStation.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
You gotta be ready.
I'm ready!
I mean, really ready.
Are you ready to open? Ready to compete?
Ready to welcome?
The floors, mats, spotless. The uniforms, clean and crisp.
Do your people have the right safety gear? Are they protected?
I'm ready! You think your customers can't tell the difference between who's ready and who's not?
Of course they do.
I'm ready for you. Everybody wants a piece of ready.
Cintas, ready for the workday.
So, why the Marines? Because this is the land that I love, the country I'm honored to serve.
Some said Wendy's 4 for $4 was the biggest thing since.
And now for tonight's biggest news.
The 4 for $4 now comes with your choice of a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger or the new Crispy Chicken BLT. It's the biggest thing until...
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, every day. And in part by Ford Service. When your Ford needs service, you need the specialists at Ford.
Oh, can the Qs join that select group of memorable moments and end UConn's historic run? It's not going to be easy in a final that over the years has been dominated by top seeds. 25 times in 34 years they've won it. The Orange are attempting to become the lowest seed ever to win it. It's time now for our national anthem. Here's our public address announcer, Molly Haynes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. This evening's colors are being presented by the United States Marine Corps Recruiting Station, Indianapolis Color Guard. To celebrate 35 years of NCAA Women's Basketball Championships, tonight's large American flag is being held by your 2016 NCAA Division II and III Women's Basketball National Champions, Lubbock Christian University and Thomas More College. And now please join rising Nashville recording artist and former Boston College women's basketball standout, Ayla Brown, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The Orange win and advance to the final for the first time. How heavy of an underdog they are going to be against UConn.
It's great to be playing in the final game of my career, and we're going to go out with a win.
We can make history and do something that no other team ever got a chance to do. We're the underdog. No one expects us to win.
We're winners. We want to put ourselves in a class of no other. All of us, we know that this is what we've been working for all year.
We're on a big stage, but you can't, think of it that. You just have to think of it as another game, another 40 minutes.
Not many people know who we are.
I want to go undefeated, win that championship.
If we do these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to win.
They've wanted this shot. They want to play UConn.
Then, of course, UConn would be the Goliath in this scenario. Syracuse will be standing far away and casting a lot of stones at the Huskies, who have those 11 appearances in the title game. And in the previous 10, they have won all of them. Syracuse playing in the final for the first time. It's a rivalry that dates back a long time. And Syracuse has not beaten Connecticut in over 20 years. The Capital One starting lineups now. Here's Molly Haynes.
And now let's meet the starting lineups. At guard for Syracuse, a 5'7" junior from Columbus, Ohio, number 1, Alexis Peterson. At guard for UConn, a 5'7" senior from Glen Heights, Texas, number 4, Mariah Jefferson. At guard for Syracuse, a 5'11" senior from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, number 13, Brianna Butler. At guard for UConn, a 6'0" sophomore from Hamilton, Ontario, number 11, Kia Nurse. At guard for Syracuse, a 5'9" junior from Newark, New Jersey, number 20, Brittany Sykes. At forward for UConn, a 5'11" sophomore from Sparks, Nevada, number 15, Gabby Williams. For Syracuse, a 6'0" junior from Amsterdam, Netherlands, number 10, Isabella Slim. At forward for UConn, a 6'2" senior from Bolingbrook, Illinois, number 3, Morgan Tuck. At center for Syracuse, a 6'4" junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 50, Brianna Day. Forward for UConn, a 6'4" senior from North Syracuse, New York, number 30, Brianna Stewart. And introducing the head coaches for Syracuse, Quentin Hillsman. And for UConn, Gino Oriema.
Well, those Husky seniors have never lost in the NCAA tournament. 23-0, looking for a 24th and a 4th consecutive title.
My name is Hamilton Carhart. I started out by building rugged clothing for those who took on the harshest conditions. From the trenches of World War I to the making of America. I sweated every seam and every stitch. Introducing Carhartt Force Extremes. Over 125 years of my family sweating the details, so you can end the day as strong as you started.
Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, and the Women's National Championship game. The UConn Huskies in their home whites, the overwhelming favorite to win an 11th championship in school history.
Imperative that Syracuse make some shots early, try to settle into this basketball game, Beth, but it's the key aspect to them getting into the full court pressure, which has worn so many opponents down.
Orange in their dark jerseys, it's Day and Stewart to take the opening tip. And the Huskies. And one of their 3 All-Americans in the starting lineup, Mariah Jefferson at the point against that zone. Attacking in the lane, and a foul right away on the shot by Morgan Tuck. It will go on Isabella Slim.
It's a good place to start, attacking the zone. You get to the short corner, soft little bounce pass into one of your most efficient players, Morgan Tuck.
The junior out of Bolingbrook, Illinois. Honorable mention All-America last year. A little disappointed about that, so good news for her. A WBCA first-teamer this year. Spectacular in the semis with 21 points.
Gina Auriemma calls her their Draymond Green. Beth, why? Well, she's the smart playmaker at the forward position. She can make perimeter shots. You can post her up. She can guard multiple types of bodies on the interior. To me, she makes things work for Gina Auriemma. And he's not bad at his job either.
No, he's been doing all right, the Hall of Famer has. Also the head coach for the United States Olympic team coming up this summer. And the WBCA Coach of the Year. Full court pressure here now to open up for Connecticut. They're going to try and press the pressers. Alexis Peterson off the bounce and the pull-up. Tuck may have gotten a piece of it. UConn will look to counter quickly. Kia Nurse, and that is the second blocking foul here in the first minute on Slim.
And this has been a Syracuse team whose formula is unique. The turnover margin is crucial. The pressure they apply is crucial. But Quentin Hillsman's team all season has been around 313th in number of fouls committed. If you put the Huskies on the line, they're going to make you pay.
Mariah Jefferson will try for three, no good. Tuck offensive rebound. Stick back won't go. Day grabs the rebound. She, by the way, was given the first foul, so it's one on her and one on Slim. Big question, can Syracuse get some clean looks? Stewart denies them the chance there.
A good decision to push up and pressure because Connecticut in transition is so explosive. So right away you see Alexis Peterson get up and pressure and try to slow the progress of Mariah Jefferson.
Three ball from Brianna Stewart, and the triple is good. She's already off to a better start than in the semis when she was in early foul trouble.
Well, she's just so versatile, and because you do not have Katie Lou Samuelson, she's got to be the three-point threat, or at least one of them for Connecticut.
They have been shooting it very well from downtown in the tournament. Brianna Butler way outside. That is within her range, or green light range, from her head coach, Quentin Hillsman.
So let's see, we've seen a block, a three, and let's see, does the mid-range go? No.
Another offensive rebound, though. Some problems for Syracuse rebounding out of the zone. Brianna Stewart, the three-time most outstanding player at the Final Four, looking for a fourth. Short corner Tuck, long on the shot. Weak side, Gabby Williams, the new member of the starting lineup, and she kicks it out to Jefferson.
And you can see what Gabby Williams gives you already. And will Quentin Hillsman use a timeout here? Is he trying to just get across half court? I think you got to be careful about letting it get too far out in front of you, Beth.
Peterson gets the open three. Looked like he was thinking about calling the timeout, and then things opened up in front of him. Nurse off the fake. Tuck, another triple. Slim's got it.
She's off to a slow start, Morgan Tuck, 0 for 3.
Brittany Sykes will pull up. The Orange, the problem finding the bottom of the net here early on. 0 for 5 in their first trip to the finals.
Tuck. Boy, they're patient, they're methodical, they're just navigating until they find the open spot.
Stewart with a hand in her face, can't get that one to fall. This is Brianna Butler. And she's going to be called for the offensive foul as Kia Nurse was there to take the charge.
Well, 3 up, 3 down. Championships and most outstanding player. Brianna Stewart gets the block. She has been so good at that her entire career. And, of course, the versatility of the offensive game, Beth. You need her to move to the perimeter because your freshman Katie Lou Samuelson has a broken foot. Yeah, I can do that too.
She has, in her championship game experience, these seniors have a championship game average. This is their 4th. She's averaging a double-double with 3 blocks per game just in finals. And there's Nurse for 2, and it's a 9-0 start for Connecticut. Orange are trying to catch their breath. Good balance for Connecticut. 4 different guys have scored. Butler, step back 3.
They are one and done. Remember, we told you part of their formula was offensive rebounds. Poor pass there by Stewart. But one thing Syracuse has not been able to do yet against Gina Auriemma and the Huskies, get to the offensive glass, something that they are so proficient at. It's one and done.
They've been averaging 17 offensive rebounds per game in this NCAA tournament. They don't have any yet, and we are approaching 4 minutes into this first quarter. Sykes gets the first scoop up and in for the Orange.
But she's crucial because this is a Connecticut team that is outstanding on the defensive end. Sometimes you need somebody to put it on the deck and create their own.
Stewart gets it right back from Tuck, and look at them attack that pressure.
Well, it's not press, break, it's press offense, right? They're not just looking to get it over half court and set up. They want to attack it to score.
One of the problems for the Syracuse zone tonight, even the bigs, spectacular passers for Connecticut. As Peterson gets a kind bounce. The junior out of Columbus has been phenomenal in the postseason, upping her scoring average by 10 per game. And up to 24 a night. Jefferson on the drive, the new career assist leader at Connecticut, passing Diana Taurasi on Sunday in the national semis. Stewart. Short on the shot, but a foul on Cornelia Fondren. It is constant motion and movement for this Connecticut offense.
It's surgical, Beth, whether it's coming in transition or against this 2-3 zone. They're going to just be unselfish. The ball will move, players will move. And, of course, it helps when you have the best player in the country.
Yes. Surgical indeed, Dr. Burke. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, as we've mentioned before, Brianna Stewart grew up just 17 miles from the Syracuse campus. She actually went to Quentin Hillsman's basketball camps when she was a little kid. He said, I knew she was special right away when the first day of camp she got whacked in the nose, blood dripping down her face. I called her dad, Brian. He said, I'll just patch her up. She'll be okay. He said, I knew right then and there we had a special one on our hands.
A terrific young lady from just north of the Syracuse campus. Wanted to get away, wanted to challenge herself at the University of Connecticut with Coach Ariema, and she is charged for her first personal foul.
And not surprisingly, she's off to a fast start here. She's eating up defensive rebounds, and she's 2 for 4 from the floor. As difficult a matchup as you'll find in the game. Transition in the mid-range, it matters not. Quentin Hillsman, oh boy, I've got my hands full tonight.
Hey, what do you think that sign says? Eat more What is Well, it's the start of a word. Something like eat more cheese or eat more chili.
Chocolate. Eat more chocolate.
No, it's chowder.
Chickpeas.
Chimichangas.
Cheesecake.
Chewing gum. It could be chewing gum.
That's not how you spell chicken. I'm pretty sure.
Go, go, go! Start my car.
You talk, it starts. Remote start on the 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Not just new, better.
Did he just start that car? I just wanted to hug him. I was gonna eat him.
Thought you were vegan.
That's my cheat day, so I'll just eat around it.
There's nothing like making their day, except making sure their tomorrow is taken care of too. Financial guidance while you're mastering life. From Chase, so you can.
Today, I'm going to fight hunger. Today, I don't want to be hungry. We just have to buy food. My family gets the food we need. I'm so glad we could help. I'm so glad someone helped.
Hunger lives closer than you think. Purchase participating items at Walmart, and you can help secure a meal for someone in need through Feeding America member food banks.
I can't find my Discover card. Wait, I can freeze my account.
Freeze it from Discover. It allows you to prevent new purchases on your account in seconds if your card is misplaced.
Not here.
And once you find your card, you can switch it right on again.
Hey, you're back.
Freeze it from Discover. Get it at discover.com.
You know, I think coach motivates me in a way that, you know, is different than everyone else on the team. I think that, you know, he's always on me.
That was terrible. That's
you know, when I hear it, it's like it just makes me so annoyed, so mad, that kind of thing. And, you know, he's trying to motivate me to be the best player I can be.
I think the best coaches, Beth Mullins, are the ones who, if they see greatness inside of a player, they feel it's their responsibility to draw it out. And that means making kids uncomfortable at times. And Rebecca Lobo has said that she has watched Gino pull with Brianna the same things he pulled when she was a player. Bench them, give them the silent treatment. And Rebecca said the remarkable thing is, it worked with me, it's working with Stewie.
And what did she say the other day? It'll take Brianna probably a couple of years before she'll learn to like coach again.
Yes, right. Listen, these kids are coached hard, and it's not always pleasant. I would bet if there's 12 kids on the team, probably 12 of them have been brought to tears at a point. But if you're a competitive person, Beth, you want your maximal ability to shine through, and that's what happens with this program.
And after a rocky first year at Connecticut, Stewart has gone on now to become the most decorated and the most successful college basketball player in history. And here she is, number 30 in white. Tuck working down low in the paint, and a foul. If this is going to be on Brianna Day, that's 2. And it is. So the 6'4" junior from Raleigh picks up her second.
This will be the 5th and 6th free throws of the period with 4.5 remaining for Connecticut. And as I mentioned, how high they are in terms of number of fouls per game. And if they put UConn here, it's going to be a long night for them, Beth.
It's also the 15th foul, Doris, so it's a bonus the rest of the way. Brianna Day will check out. Her twin sister, Bria Day, will come on. So Syracuse essentially going to run 4 guards.
And it's interesting that UConn, who has been a pressure team, is pressuring a team that likes to press.
Finder on the drive. Stewart bothered the shot and then tipped it out to Nurse. Tuck setting up inside. Weak side. Stewart wide open 3. She's already got 10 here in the first 6 minutes. Brian and Heather enjoying the view right now. Her parents.
Now look at the versatility on the defensive end. They'll switch multiple positions. So for a moment, Stewart was checking the small point guard, Peterson.
Another block. That's a couple blocks and a couple of bothers for Stewart. It leads to the breakout the other way. Tuck with the lay-in.
The signature of Brianna Stewart is all over this basketball game. Rebounding, blocking shots, intimidating at the rim, and creating opportunities in transition for her team.
And a Syracuse offense that loves to dribble penetrate is running into a brick wall in there right now. Peterson will stay outside. Again, it's one and done for a Syracuse team that really needs some help on the offensive glass. Tuck, look at her work. Tipped it away from 2 orange jerseys. Had that shot turned back. Jefferson so cool and calm running the point. The double team and the blocking foul on Bria Day. That's her first.
Now, Brianna Stewart is all over the floor, this time against the zone, just staying space. Gabby Williams comes in, and she is on the interior, and then how about on the defensive end of the floor? That wingspan, she has got condor-like skills, and that leads to this, a numbered break 2-on-1 situation.
She is number 1 all-time in career blocks, number 2 in scoring, number 4 in rebounding in their school history. So versatile.
And what do you notice about the pace of this game, Beth? It's being played at the Connecticut Huskies tempo. They're controlling every aspect of this ball game because when Syracuse beat Washington in the national semifinals, Washington was sped up. They were making poor decisions under duress of multiple traps. You've got a Connecticut team that's just saying, okay, we're going to make decisions based on what you're doing, but we will not be sped up.
Turnovers have not been a factor. They do not have a three-pointer. They do not have an offensive rebound. Those were 3 key statistics for them. 5 on the shot clock. Knocked out of bounds by Syracuse. But it's the year's first major, and we'll have the first and second rounds from Augusta right here on ESPN. Jordan Spieth looking to defend his title after last year's epic performance. It's the Masters, Thursday and Friday at 3 Eastern, and also on the ESPN app.
How about our colleague Mike Tirico, left here on a Sunday night, got to a Monday morning shoot for the Masters. He is the master, Mike Tirico.
His wife Debbie is a former Syracuse point guard. They were in attendance here watching the game in the semifinals on Sunday. The foul is charged to Brittany Sykes. And again, back to the free throw line for Connecticut. They are 7 for 8. A rare miss for Mariah Jefferson. She's only missed 5 now the entire season. That's the second one to go. Substitution coming on for Syracuse. They do have a lot of bodies to throw at you. Quentin Hillsman has gone 9 or 10 deep throughout the tournament.
And you had mentioned that they went to the 4-guard lineup, try to spread you out, maybe get a little handling and shooting, and they're going to get a hold of Mariah Jefferson here.
That will be the first on Mariah. Jefferson trying to deny Peterson. They're going to keep it out of her hands, and Sykes will bring it across midcourt. As they work that high pick and roll action. Butler with Nurse draped all over. Brianna trying to call the screen. Hard edge there by Collier. They don't let her get one up, but Taylor Ford will try and hit it. She's 3 for 3 from downtown.
Yeah, and she checks in prepared to shoot it, Beth. She did it the other night against Washington. A nice job. That's a skill, to be able to come off the bench, shot ready, and in a mode and a mindset to be able to just, hey, I need to contribute in the limited minutes I get.
3 for 3 in this Final Four, and Tuck counters. It's a 12-3 run right now for UConn. Peterson driving the lane, trying to take advantage of Stewart being sucked out on the perimeter and can't hit the layup. Jefferson on the drive, the kick out again. Stewart doesn't get the bounce. Collier, the freshman, keeps it alive. Jefferson long on that attempt. Peterson. Nice on the hesitation there to draw the foul on Nurse. That'll be the first on Kia.
Well, we talked about what they like to do, and that's shoot a number of threes. As Quentin Hillsman likes to say, we like to get 10. They love when he reacts like this. I think they get an awful lot of juice from his persona.
Yes. You talk to the players, they say he's the guy that instills all the confidence in a program that had never been to the Sweet 16, Doris, and all they do is they go out to Sioux Falls, they knock out the #1 seed in the region, South Carolina. You're staring across the court at Tennessee in the region final, and they took them right out, and now moving on and beating Washington here.
They played fearless. They were not concerned with the name across the front of the jersey. They just said, we are equally as talented. We're going to play as hard as you are, and look at where they find themselves, and a chance to upset Connecticut.
Beat one bunch of Huskies in the semis, but a much taller order here tonight with the undefeated UConn Huskies at 37-0 and winners of 74 straight. Here is a live ball turnover. Can the Orange take advantage? They cannot. Good ball movement again. Stewart long on that attempt. Syracuse with numbers. Butler, step back, got away from Nurse, and hits.
And see, the more they can score in transition or semi-transition, early offense, the better off they're going to be. Because if you got to try to score against Connecticut's set defense, it's going to be a long night. Those are great.
Final seconds of the quarter. Jefferson gets it up in time. Good if it goes, and she drills the three. What a counter by the All-American point guard.
Well, you give up a 3 on one end. You think maybe Syracuse is going to end the quarter with a little momentum under duress of the end of quarter clock. Look at that. Mariah Jefferson delivers.
defender draped all over, not a tremendous size, but delivers under pressure. Well, coming up after the timeout, we will hear from Orange coach Quentin Hillsman.
Soup and sandwich and cannonballs and clean and real and looking good and sandwich and soup and a new personal best and a little help and soup and sandwich and study group. Good, clean food pairs well with anything. Try the Clean Pairings menu at Panera. Food as it should be. Soup and sandwich and cannonballs and clean and real and looking good and sandwich and soup and a new personal best and a little help and soup and sandwich and study group. Good, clean food pairs well with anything. Try the Clean Pairings menu at Panera. Food as it should be.
This is the all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu.
Wow, that's nice.
Let's check it out. Do any of you have kids?
I do.
Yes.
This car has a feature built in called Teen Driver Technology, which lets parents see how their teens are driving.
Oh, that's smart.
It even mutes the radio until the seatbelt is fastened.
So we'll keep track of how many boys get in the car. That could be useful.
This is ahead of what my Audi has for sure.
Which my Beamer had that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know that technology existed.
I'm not in the market for a car, but now I may be.
Why do so many businesses rely on the U.S. Postal Service? Because when they ship with us, their business becomes our business. That's why we make more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country. Here, there, everywhere. The United States Postal Service. Priority you.
Weeds. Nature's boomerang. At Roundup, we know they keep coming back. You never invited this stubborn little rascal to your patio, so draw the line. One spray of Roundup Max Control 365 kills to the root and keeps weeds away for up to 12 months, because patios should be for cooking out and kicking back. Roundup Max Control 365. Draw the line. Prevent weeds from coming back for up to 1 year.
Well, Coach, your team was down, but that three-point barrage, you guys have that confidence building, hitting those threes. What's made you able to hit those right now?
Well, we're getting out in transition and we get some unsettled situations. And that's key for us. We got to make some shots in transition and really push tempo.
You pride yourself on being a great offensive rebounding team, but they've got the edge on the boards right now. How can you get better in that category?
Well, we got to just go every time. The biggest opportunities where they're going to the glass really hard, so we got to do the same thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Holly. Talking about Quentin Hillsman, the NCAA tournament appearances, just one in the previous 10 seasons before his arrival. And now look at the tournament appearances and certainly the wins. And it's been a style that he has adopted and adjusted to, playing the zone, playing the pressure, and talking about offensive rebounds, turnovers, and threes, and they are not going their way so far. And that has been their formula. I've never heard a college basketball coach, Beth, say that they don't care about field goal percentage, but his associate head coach, Von Reed, convinced him that it's all about number of possessions. But to this point, 25% shooting in the game versus a Connecticut team that's 42%, and thus the deficit. Ford will try for three. That's off the mark. The big three for Syracuse are just 3 of 14 in Peterson, Butler, and Sykes. Yet another possession where they don't get an offensive rebound. We're unaccustomed to seeing this from Syracuse. They get the live ball turnover. Fondren with the steal. That's the third takeaway for the Orange. Peterson gives it right back. 2-on-1. Jefferson. Terrific job by Nurse. And Nurse, when she's attacking the basket, either to score for herself or her teammates, that's where she is special, I think, at her most comfortable. Jefferson now with 9, Tuck with 9, Stewart with 10 to lead the way for Connecticut. the drive, Fondren can't get the finish at the rim. Butler and Sykes are both out right now for Syracuse, waiting to check back in. Ball's not touching the ground for UConn offensively. Peterson drops it off for Morrison. Fondren, who loves going to that left side, gets tied up. The help defense coming from Collier, and it will go over to Connecticut.
Now, this team is always in sound defensive position, and if one teammate gets beat, as Tuck did there, you had Kia Nurse right in the gap, anticipating her teammate might need help. It gets him out into a 2-on-1 break, and I like that Nurse gave that basketball up early.
Against the pressure now, Gabby Williams, who got the start for the injured Katie Lou Samuelson tonight. They really have not had a whole lot of problems. Sykes nearly took it away from her old AAU teammate, Brianna Stewart. They played together during the summers growing up. Talk about commitment. It was a 4-hour drive one way for Brianna Stewart to go down to Philly and play with the Philly Bells in her AAU days. She and Sykes still very good friends. They've been texting each other all week. Off the bounce, Williams fouled. Well, let's take you back to their younger days in Philly with Sykes and Stewie. Holly Rose got more on the story for us. Holly?
And that friendship has really continued. Brittany Sykes, a tremendous story. 2 torn ACLs within 10 months. She said her teammates have been there for her every step of the way. She really teared up in our meeting talking about the great support of her teammates. But the only other player outside of her teammates that was there for her, texting her, checking on her constantly, was her former AAU teammate, Brianna Stewart.
Yeah, they've got a good bond, the two of them. And, of course, Sykes and her teammates, what a moment emotionally for them talking to us. Not only was it a second chance, but a third chance she's talked about after the 2 ACLs for Sykes.
Beth, I'm so impressed, you know, when you think about consecutive knee injuries, how fearlessly Sykes plays the game. She is a slasher by nature, gets into the mid-range, and that's a real hurdle for athletes to get over, particularly back-to-back injuries like that.
Syracuse is going to turn it over here. Sykes, by the way, along with Morgan Tuck, can both return to school next year, or both could opt to move on.
And if I'm Tuck, I'm going, because if I'm either, I'm going. You've got a limited window with which to make money with your body as an athlete, and with your history of injuries, I would want to maximize that.
It's expected that Morgan would be a high choice. Of course, Stewart would go number 1. Shot clock's under 10. Good screen up top by Williams. And Nurse stepped on the sideline to turn it over. That's 4 for Connecticut.
And one of the challenges for Syracuse now that these two teams are no longer facing off in their conferences is Syracuse is facing Connecticut for the first time in a long time. Many of these players for the first time. And to get us an understanding of how fast things come out, it's going to be an illegal screen on Sykes. It's a difficult thing, particularly in this environment. You couple first time playing UConn with first time on the stage, and that is truly a difficult task.
Their last meeting was 3 years ago. Of course, prior to that, they played every season in the old Big East. There was an opportunity. Brianna Stewart was telling us she was frustrated she did not get a chance as Nurse hits for 3. Did not get a chance for a homecoming game inside the Carrier Dome, where she used to go watch games with her dad as a kid. Her homecoming was actually down at Colgate in Hamilton, New York, more than an hour's drive south of her home. Sykes with the pull-up over Stewart. That will allow Syracuse to set up its pressure. Nurse on the drive and a foul. One of the problems is the size for Connecticut. They're able to see over the top, but of course the good passers they've got at every spot on the floor.
Well, they get it to the middle of the floor, Beth, and then they've got vision and opportunities all over.
Let's go back over to Holly.
Well, very interesting situation for Kia Nurse tonight. Her uncle and aunt, Donovan McNabb, married into the family, and her aunt, Roxy, Where do they sit? Do you sit and support the UConn family when you become a legend as a quarterback at Syracuse? I did ask Donovan what he was going to do, and he's like, I love my family, but I am orange for life. I have seen Roxy. I thought she was kind of bopping back and forth between the sections. So, you know, it's a very difficult situation.
He's got to go home to his wife.
Of course, Roxy is Kia Nurse's aunt, but she is also a former Syracuse point guard who guided the Orange to their last win over Connecticut 20 years ago. That came after the Huskies had just won their first national championship, and now here they are 20 years later trying to get their 11th. But look at the pressure Mariah Jefferson puts on you. Peterson. You get the sense, Doris, they're having to rush those 3 looks. And meanwhile, the quick strike the other way. Stewart to Nurse. Timeout, Orange. Those faces looked like at the moment they were Syracuse fans and not enjoying the score at all.
Those who dare drive the world forward. Introducing the first ever Cadillac CT6.
It's more than a network and the cloud. It's reliable uptime and multi-layered security. It's how you stay connected to each other and to your customers. With CenturyLink, you get advanced technology solutions, including an industry-leading broadband network and cloud and hosting services, all with dedicated, responsive support. With CenturyLink as your trusted technology partner, you're free to focus on growing your business. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Take the roar out of snore. Yet another innovation only at a Sleep Number store.
Did you hear there's a race for president? Well, I'm running. And I'll run against anybody. Donkeys, elephants, orangutans, you name it. And the support so far has been great.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
And throughout my run, I'll be using Hotels.com because booking a room is simple. Although, this would be a lot simpler if I was standing still. It's almost as simple as getting lost, which I'm pretty sure I am.
Supported by Hotels.com, the obvious choice.
Straight Talk Wireless is the same, but better than your current plan. Yeah, it's gonna blow your mind. With the Bring Your Own Phone Activation Kit, you keep your same phone, same 4G LTE network, and same number. So what's better? How about paying half as much with no contract or mystery fees? Because Straight Talk's unlimited plan is just $45 a month. It's not just better, it's amazing, stupendous. It's, well, you get the idea. Straight Talk Wireless.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today to your neighborhood store this week for big spring savings. And Comfort Inn and Comfort Suites. Rested, set, go.
The national championship game here in Indianapolis, 38-15. The Huskies on top. How about some of the former Husky legends in the house with two-time champ Sue Bird, Svetlana Abrosimova, and Tina Charles. And a couple of titles for Stephanie Dolson. And then there's the two-time champ and the three-time Wade Trophy winner. And what is it, 3 titles now in the WNBA for Maya Moore.
She's catching up to Diana Taurasi in total number of titles. Maya closing the gap on DT.
Is she catching up in your mind on the all-time #1 player in Husky history?
Who, Maya or Maya?
Scooped up and under by day.
Listen, it's a great tease because I'm not going to give you what I believe until the second half.
Coming up later, folks. And Brianna Stewart is going to use a timeout because she didn't like what was happening against their pressure. They didn't have anybody in the middle of the floor. We'll take the timeout with them.
We searched billions of flight combinations to make getting here easy. Because the hardest part of any trip should be leaving. Expedia, technology connecting you to what matters.
This magic moment.
Also championships. We were Shaq and Kobe before Shaq and Kobe.
ESPN Films presents This Magic Moment, Thursday at 9 on ESPN.
Well, the first game of our NBA Wednesday doubleheader will be right here in Indy with LeBron James coming to town, and then the nightcap is the Rockets and the Mavs, with both teams battling for that last playoff spot in the West. Don't miss both games on ESPN. Of course, the Pacers right now holding on to that last spot in the East. Stewart couldn't get the finish, crashing to the floor. Fondren now the other way. And they're going to turn it over. They had shooters all over the place, and Fondren couldn't make the decision. Been a few opportunities tonight where Quentin Hillsman's team has used their defense or a miscue or missed shot and gotten into transition, but haven't been able to convert. You cannot miss those chances. Best turnover margin in the country. The #2 in steals. They really like to push the tempo. They've been up over 80 points their last 3 games. Sykes with the swat coming from behind to get Nurse. I love watching this young woman play. She plays so hard, and look at the athleticism, the timing, and the ability to do that without fouling. Junior out of Newark, who came in 4 years ago with Butler, and they changed this program. Tuck got it to go as Stewie was hanging around waiting for it. I'll tell you, she makes 2 or 3 plays a game where her hands are up above the rim. Tuck and Stewart now both in double digits. Sykes short on the shot. Syracuse is 6 for 23 now in this first half. Huskies, meanwhile, are shooting 46%. They've also hit 5 3-pointers. It's going to be a traveling violation, and we'll go over to the Orange. So there's been a couple of times tonight where 2 or 3 trips in a row the Huskies have come away empty. It's just converting on the other side has been so problematic for Syracuse. And the other part of that is they're taking a lot of shots, but they aren't getting to the offensive glass, which has been so crucial to what they do. Peterson hits off the crossover. Under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. The Huskies doubling up the Orange right now. Stewart, an open look for Brianna. Can't hit it. And that's going to go over to the Orange. And they might have to take care of some blood on her elbow and her jersey as well, on her back right there. Would like to take a moment, by the way, to say hello to our dear friend and colleague, Dave O'Brien, who is usually sitting courtside in this chair and is away on assignment with Major League Baseball right now. And over the years, Dave has been such a wonderful voice for college basketball, so informative and entertaining. And Dave, on behalf of our entire crew here, we're thinking of you, and we feel your spirit here in Indy. That's my partner. I miss him very much. I know he's heartbroken he can't be here, but one of the best in the business, as is Brianna Stewart. And it doesn't matter where she is on the floor. In fact, UConn will mix the places in which they deploy her, and she has been terrific from three-point territory. One of the areas I think she's most improved in her career, Beth, is the ability to move without the basketball, to find the gaps and seams, to become a target for her teammates. The other thing that Gino has always talked about, similar to Diana, similar to Maya, these big moments, she's not afraid to succeed and to shine, as she has done in her championship game history. Look at the burst by Jefferson to get out on the run. Scoops it up with the right hand on the left side. Coast to coast for Mo Jeff. Fondren, nice use of the screen for 2. I like her substitution because, like Sykes, she can create off the bounce against good defense, and they're going to have to make those kinds of plays to make any inroads here. Sometimes Connecticut is gapped so well. They're so sound defensively. It takes good individual offense. Oh, what a ball fake by Tuck to get the defender up and go right by. How about the last two possessions? Mariah Jefferson with speed, and then Tuck with a little bit of savvy. Back-to-back buckets in different fashion. Butler Jefferson getting a turn on it right now. She just cannot get a clean look after setting a new NCAA single season record with 128 made threes this year. Fondren's going to take it inside instead. You feel like every basket has had to be an individual play? Yep. Not necessarily off the action they run. Syracuse with just 1 assist on their 9 buckets. It took some time for Mariah Jefferson to understand how to mix speeds. In this instance, she's just going to use that blazing speed. And how about the finish? Has to go over her head. Crosses over Butler. That is perfect. 5'7" senior out of Glen Heights, Texas. 2 times the Nancy Lieberman Award winner for the best point guard in the country. She was so clutch last year in this championship game on the defensive end with the job she did containing Jewel Lloyd. Sykes short on that 3, and again, Nurse was right there in her grill. Well, you think about the great history of point guard play at Connecticut, and Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, multiple-time winners, and of course the great Skylar Diggins. Stewart swoops to the bucket for 2. A dozen now for Brianna. Huskies shooting 50% now in the game. You know, they come in, the top scoring team, the top scoring defense. Numbers are there for a reason with the success they have had, not only this season, but on their 74-game winning streak. All of them have been double-digit wins, and they have won 121 of 122 games. And Quentin Hillsman said, because of his association with Connecticut in the Big East, he said, I've been on every end of that. I've had the lead at half by 9. I've been blown out. I've lost in some heartbreakers. Collier gets fouled on the drive. Reminder coming up at the half, Kevin DeGandhi, Rebecca Lobo, and Kara Lawson will have our Northwestern Mutual halftime report. Going to be hard to avoid a conversation about how well the seniors have been playing. With Tuck now 13 points, Stewart with 12, Jefferson with 11. Outscoring Syracuse by themselves so far. Well, that's what Gino has said. He said, I trust those 3 seniors implicitly. They have proven over and over that they are prepared to meet the biggest moments. And what has been a bit of a bittersweet Final Four, knowing that they have a job to do, but also knowing it is their last game together here tonight. Peterson, the kick out. And UConn forces the turnover. Shot clock is off, so they can hold it for 1. I'm not sure they saw the blood on the back of that jersey of Brianna Stewart, because it's still there. And a piece on her shorts there as well. Very prominent, that one on her back. Final 15 seconds of the half. Stewart will pull up and knock it down. Can't guard that release point. Too high, too good. Syracuse can't beat the buzzer with that shot. 50-23. The seniors with 38 of those points for Connecticut as they try and close out their collegiate careers. Perfect in the postseason. And look at the numbers tonight, all in double digits already. And one of those, Brianna Stewart with Holly.
Brianna, how do you think it describes the mindset of these 3 seniors? You guys are outscoring Syracuse by yourselves.
We wanted to come out and make sure that our last game was our best one. And, you know, in order to do that, we need a win.
Despite the score, how will you close out this second half? What will the focus be?
I think the focus will continue to be to, contain their guards, don't let them shoot threes, and, handle their pressure. They're going to come out in the second half and try to, create a run for themselves.
You're 20 minutes away from your 4th national championship. How can you stay focused on that?
That's exactly it. 20 minutes away, that's it.
Thanks, Brianna.
Thanks.
Thank you, Holly. 50-23, UConn leading Syracuse. Let's get it over to Kevin Nagandi and the crew for the Northwestern Mutual halftime report as the Husky seniors try and go out in style. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One. First half in the books, 50-23. UConn with the lead over Syracuse. And the Huskies now just 20 minutes away from an 11th national championship. Beth Mowins, Doris Burke, along with Holly Rowe. Doris, as impressive as that 50 is up on the board, perhaps even more so is the 23 they have held to Syracuse.
So the formula that Syracuse uses is good enough against many teams, but against the best team in the country, it has not been. They talk often about getting 10 made threes. They're just 2 for 12. They talk often about turning you over and generating points off. Well, look at those numbers. Connecticut only 6 turnovers and only 4 points off. Syracuse not getting to their game in part, Beth, because UConn is so sound in every phase.
Big difference for the big three. For Connecticut, 38 points for Tuck, Jefferson, and Stewart, and they score on their first possession of the second half. A much different story for the Syracuse big three as they go just 5 for 22, and they've got to figure out something for Alex Peterson, who has been hounded by Jefferson, the WBCA Defensive Player of the Year, into just 2 for 10 shooting.
Yeah, keep in mind, Bev, you can see the constant switching, that the versatility UConn possesses on the defensive end of the floor. It makes it nearly impossible for you to run offense unless you have a good counter to the switching, and thus far Syracuse has not had that counter.
And DB, how special is it when you've got 4 and 5 players that can switch off and play point guards the way that UConn can?
And I think that's the overlooked part of their championship. They're so pretty offensively, you forget that it's built on the defensive end.
Stewart hits on that attempt. Here is Peterson with the matchup on Jefferson. They have not been able to free up their three-point shooters so far, which is another aspect of how critical their game is. They're just 2 for 12 tonight. Day tries to score on the left side. Tuck had it and then fell out of bounds. Moments ago, Holly chatted with Brittany Sykes.
Well, despite the big deficit, what did you guys talk about in the locker room about ways to get back in this game?
Well, we just have to take it in 4-minute segments. Just chip away at it. We got an offensive rebound, because when we offensive rebound, we can stop those type of runs, and they're a really big transition team. So if we get them offensive rebounds and just chip away at the 4-minute segments, we'll do good.
What's left in your group that lets us know that you're not going to give up in this fight?
It's the national championship. This is what you came here to do. You have to compete, and you have to come to play.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's the key. So often with the disparity with UConn and how they win games, you'll see a team sort of lose it mentally and stop competing, and that's when it gets ugly. So Syracuse, for me, Beth, and Quentin Hillsman, you've established so much in your 10-year run at Syracuse. This half is as much about pride. You may not be able to overcome this deficit, but there should be no quit in your team.
It's a team that set a school record with 30 wins this year. A team that was ranked number 23 in the preseason polls, and really they speak about the rest of the country other than Syracuse, or other than UConn, where there was a lot of parity this year. It was a wide open tournament other than the Huskies, and it's Syracuse that survived that. Nice dish, Tuck to Gabby Williams.
You can see why he calls her their Draymond Green, right? The smarts and playmaking and passing ability that she has, Morgan Tuck. 4th assist for Morgan. If you want to know what this program's about, how about 4 different players with at least 100 assists?
Sykes with the drive there. And how they pass it down from team to team, generation to generation. Tuck was telling us that she learned how to become a better passer by watching the player at her position before her, Stephanie Dolson. Oh, she was the master. They ran their offense through her, and that ability, as you see, Steph Dolson, who was a part of 2 national championships in her own right, and of course went a little bit outside the UConn code once she graduated in terms of hairstyle. Purple not allowed in stores, but now she's in the pros. Have at it. Stewart with a catch and draws the foul. That will be the 3rd on Brianna Day, and Brianna Stewart to the line. Holly?
Well, the beauty of UConn is they tend to recruit kids who are all about the team. Brianna Stewart was one of the top recruits in the country, but when she got ready to sign her letter of intent, she did not pull one of those fancy press conferences where the hats where she's going to switch it. Her and her dad, Brian, she's just doing it on the top of their car in front of his job. Very low-key. That's the kind of superstar Brianna's been. It's not all about the lights and the attention. It's about the hard work and just getting it done on the roof of your dad's car.
I don't think he would sign someone. You get the sense in Gino Auriemma that he doesn't want to sign the player who, with all due respect to our company, wants to be signing on ESPN with a little drama. Stewart snags the rebound, the long outlet to Jefferson, who pulls up for 2. The seniors connect again. Yeah, she was working hard on that pull-up. Think about her ability to score in all phases. We saw her get to the rim. She's a vastly improved three-point shooter, and now the in-between game. Jefferson is another one who had to kind of bide her time, wait her turn as a freshman. She made contributions, certainly, to that championship team, and then jumped into the starting role as a sophomore. Sykes, nice spin off the window. Really nice looking player, Beth. Her ability, as Quinton gets to a timeout, her ability to create so important. Yeah, Brianna Stewart has always been a shot blocking phenom. How about get your head up and get it to a teammate? Easy opportunity. Connecticut making it look easy.
This is the all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu.
Wow, that's nice.
Let's check it out. Do any of you have kids?
I do.
Yes.
This car has a feature built in called Teen Driver Technology, which lets parents see how their teens are driving.
Oh, that's smart.
It even mutes the radio until the seatbelt is fastened.
We'll keep track of how many boys get in the car. That could be useful.
This is ahead of what my Audi has for sure.
Wish my Beamer had that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know that technology existed.
I'm not in the market for a car, but now I may be.
Do you sell high-end champagne?
In the back.
Have a good night.
The new water-resistant Galaxy S7 Edge.
My son and I used to watch the red carpet shows on TV. Now I'm walking them. Life is unpredictable. Being flake-free isn't, because I have used Head & Shoulders for 20 years. Used regularly, it removes up to 100% of flakes, keeping you protected. Live flake-free for life.
Inside the rack houses of Jim Beam, every barrel's aged 4 long years for a fuller, smoother flavor. Our history's made from the inside. How will you make yours?
Basket the greatest again. Is it Golden State?
Oh man, 86, 87 Lakers, no doubt.
Magic Johnson, little itty bitty shorts you used to wear. Can't have this conversation showing out the 96 Bulls, the Golden State.
You know what? The greatest team to ever play the game was the Harlem Globetrotters.
The Harlem Globetrotters?
What about Fred Curly Neal, Sweet Lou Dunbar, Twiggy Sanders?
Please.
Metal Rock Lemon, the Bobby Joe Mason, Tex Harrison, Geese Osby. What about that, Scott Van Pelt?
With the first pick, the Orlando Magic
Magic selects Shaquille O'Neal.
This magic moment.
Also championships. We were Shaq and Kobe before Shaq and Kobe.
ESPN Films presents This Magic Moment, Thursday at 9 on ESPN.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by the Lincoln Spring Collection event. Right now, get exceptional limited-time offers. And Northwestern Mutual. We help you live life differently.
16 points for Breanna Stewart. UConn shooting 54% as they look on inside Gamble Pavilion, back on the Stores campus. Getting ready perhaps to celebrate an 11th national championship, and for Stewart and her senior mates, their 4th in a row. Never happened before in college basketball history. Remember, during UCLA's run of 7 straight on the men's side, the freshmen were not eligible to play. So a lot of those guys won 3 straight, but nobody's ever won 4. As they continue to slice right through the pressure.
Well, once they get the ball to the middle of the floor, Beth, and you put it in the hands of Mariah Jefferson, it's a 3-on-2 situation, and you know the vast majority of times she will make the right decision.
Alexis Peterson. Step back was blocked by Williams. Fondren has it and muscles it up.
Well, she's got some toughness to her, Fondren, because she's staring at the great shot blocker, Breanna Stewart, with all of that wingspan.
Morgan Tuck, the double team comes, and it's Fondren who came over to help and draws the walk.
One of the things Gino Auriemma said to us at Shoot-Around was in the second half of the 1981 championship, Bob Knight deployed Isaiah Thomas in the middle of the floor, so the point guard became the recipient after the first line, and he became, against Carolina, the playmaker. And it's so interesting that even in this moment, he's drawing on his history as a sportsman, as a basketball aficionado.
Using a little Bob Knight. And why not? Back here in the state of Indiana, that's the perfect time to pull it out. Also, of course, the home state of that legendary UCLA coach, John Wooden. Brianna Butler, there has not been a lot of open air space for her.
That's a quick tie-up.
Yeah. It's going to be a held ball. We'll stay with Syracuse. In basketball, pros and college, Phil Jackson is now 1 in front of Gino. That could change in the next hour. And then, of course, John Wooden with 10. Red Auerbach, 9 with the Celtics. And the head coach emeritus at Tennessee, Pat Summitt, with 8.
And the thing I like is I don't get the sense that he's necessarily comfortable with the comparison. But smarter basketball people than me, and I'll talk Jeff Van Gundy and Bob Knight, have said that if they were starting a basketball program, regardless of gender, he's one of the first people that they would look at. That speaks volumes.
He's a man from very humble beginnings. Grew up in that basketball hotbed of Philly. He learned from some of the best in that city before moving on to Connecticut and really taking a program that was nowhere at the time and slowly and meticulously building it into this championship team. Now over the last 20 years, they've won 10 titles. Right now, though, it's an 8-0 run for Syracuse. And they're going to be whistled for the foul. 4.5 to go here in the third. Gino Auriemma, the head coach of the UConn Huskies, continues chasing history.
This is shaving. Blades here, blades there, some over there. Oh, that's not a blade. This is shielding, with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields from irritation for a close, comfortable shave. The new Pro Shield from Gillette.
You gotta believe in something. Tell me that you believe. The NBA playoffs begin Saturday on ESPN and ABC.
Everything you can watch on ESPN, you can now live stream on the ESPN app.
Hey! Does it work on Android, Slade?
It works on all your devices.
Let me see the spoon. Actually, give me the fork. Thanks. I don't know. What do you think?
That cheese looks a little saucy. I'd go spoon.
All right. Yeah, spoon.
Steph has the MVP lock.
This is the thing about Steph Curry. I mean, good. He's not his daddy. See, Steph shot. He just.
Steph Curry's got the quickest release.
Boy, it's good. Steph Curry, man.
Say, you can't hate on Steph Curry, man.
Well, one, you got to finish your name. Steph ain't a whole name.
Kobe's final game, Wednesday on ESPN2.
Morning, John.
Ricky?
Man, I've been sleepy lately.
How come the decaf then?
This isn't decaf.
Dude, are you colorblind?
No.
The new ESPN Fantasy Baseball app is here. Download now.
Dodgers Giants? Let's just say these two teams don't quite like each other.
Giants Dodgers Sunday at 8 on ESPN.
With NASCAR Race View, you're in control. Bring your race day experience to life with live 3D features. You can access NASCAR Race View on every device with just one subscription. Learn more at NASCAR.com/raceview.
ESPN Films presents This Magic Moment, Thursday at 9 on ESPN.
During the last two off seasons, UConn has turned to the Marines to try to build some mental toughness and some team leadership. They have been getting up very early every single week, working with Gunnery Sergeant Beltran. Gino Auriemma said he was amazing. He put the team through activities, learning to work together in ways that they never had before. Brianna Stewart and the players say that it was very tough, but it really built some team leadership amongst the group, and they're very proud of what Gunnery Sergeant Beltran put them through to be more mentally tough this season.
I like the story, Holly, where they come to the gym one day and they're expecting that sort of outdoor training that we just saw video of, and instead the lights were out in the gym. The only lights flickering were the exit sign bright lights, and the Gunnery Sergeant started screaming and chaos broke out. And if you can handle those kind of moments, you at least know what to expect when the best full court pressure that we've seen in this postseason comes at you. They have handled it with a lot of poise here tonight and really have been, for the most part, unaffected by that Syracuse pressure. And in fact, it has been the UConn defense that has been dominant, and the foul will be called on Stewart. That's her second. Thursday at 5 Eastern, it's the Frozen Four in Tampa with Boston College and Quinnipiac facing off in the national semifinals on ESPN2. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
I'm sure it'll be a great Frozen Four, but I'm heartbroken that there will be a new champion crowned because the Providence College Friars went down.
That is always a fun event. Substitution here. Ford comes on for Butler. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tuck gets the rebound. She's got 15, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Stewart's got 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. She could be flirting with a triple-double here tonight. Of course, remember, she has won the previous 3 Most Outstanding Player awards, and perhaps a little friendly battle between those two as to see who's going to get this year's if the story continues to unfold this way.
And this is what you want to see, and that got the Syracuse bench up and reacting. A little bit of frustration on Stewie's part. You could see it. They don't want to concede a possession, but this is what you want. Play hard. This is about pride, and I think Fondren has been absolutely terrific all day, competing, trying to get to the window. That is nicely done, Beth.
Well, Doris, this is also the winningest senior class in Syracuse history, and the job they have done over the course of the last 4 years in Fondren and Morrison, Butler and Taylor Ford
And Sykes, who came in with them and who has 1 year if she wants it. We think two things when we think Syracuse, at least I do. I can't do a television show without finding somebody from the Newhouse School of Broadcasting, one of the best in the entire country. They're everywhere. And of course, basketball success, most notably under Jim Boeheim, but certainly now with Quentin Hillsman at the helm of the women's program. Sold them on trying to build something special and do it a little differently than everybody else. We've talked about their style and how unorthodox it is. But it's an opportunity if you like to play a lot of in-your-face defense and run the floor and shoot a lot of threes, it's not a bad place to be. Do you use a timeout here if you're Gino? Because they're making a little run, setting up their pressure. You're starting to feel them a little bit. It's a 12-0 run. You're starting to get a look at the multiple presses. There's a different level of intensity on the defensive end, and another steal here. Fondren. Gonna go right at the rim. 14 in a row for Syracuse, and it's now back within 19. The skip to Nurse, steps inside the line. Orange come out with it, Sykes. Jefferson took a chance, Brittany will pull up, and here comes Syracuse. A little complacency on Connecticut's side, a little intensity, and now Gino will use a timeout. They're within 17. When's the last time Connecticut has had to use a defensive timeout? As I said, that you can't concede mentally because the score is so wide. You've got to play for pride and go possession by possession. Sykes told Holly we're going to play in 4-minute segments. Well, guess what? Advantage Syracuse last 4 possessions because this run has been terrific. And you're starting to see the Syracuse that showed up throughout the NCAA tournament. Pressure turning into easy baskets in transition. And Sykes and Fondren have been at the lead of this thing, and wisely, a mid-range opportunity. And Gino Auriemma, the 10-time national champion, uses a timeout, Beth. Not only did they win the 4-minute segment, Doris, they pounded them. A 16-0 run for the Orange. And can they continue this and make the champs sweat it out a little bit here in the second half? That group of Syracuse alums on the women's program, they are working hard. They're sweating as much as the players, I think. There has not been a lot of postseason success to cheer about in this program, and this year has been such a different story. You got to get some verve back. You got to get back to that attack mentality if you're Connecticut. Shot clock winding down. Collier will have to put it up for 3. Oh, nice offensive rebound for Stewart. And look at Stewie. Let me just take control of the possession and tell you what play we're running. Senior doesn't want to let this one get away. Nurse fouled on the drive. I think they're going to say it was on the pass. It was on the pass. They will get a fresh 30 here. That is the 4th foul of the quarter on Syracuse. Remember, women's college basketball, the rules change. On the 5th, you start to shoot 2 free throws. There's been some discussion about whether that's good for the game or bad for the game. I certainly like the pace of quarters. There's the drought for Connecticut. Can they break it? Approaching 6 minutes without a bucket for UConn. You get it inside to Tuck. 2 feet in the paint. Nice pass by Tuck to the other side for Collier. 5 assists for Morgan. And their first points in over 6 minutes. Day missed it inside. Gino Auriemma waving his fingers like, let's go, get the ball movement. Let's get some pop to our offense again.
Nurse, the three rattles in and out. Butler. Still can't dial it in, but Sykes with the offensive rebound. And it's going to Connecticut with 10 seconds. Let's watch Morgan Tuck do work. Again, her passing skills, the ability under duress. Look at 4 bodies are around her. She doesn't panic, Beth. She simply drops it to the weak side because she knows that's where it's open. Ford will come on here for defense for Syracuse. Jefferson. Syracuse will throw the double at her. Tuck has time, finds Collier off the bounce, gets it inside and gets the bucket. 2 buzzer beaters in 3 quarters tonight for Connecticut. Just precision, execution. Always one of the best offensive teams in the country. You want to press us, we're going to put it to you with numbers in transition. Just perfect execution against a Syracuse team that had seized a little bit of momentum. Beautifully done from Collier. He is the Lord of the Rings, 10 of them to be exact. He's run out of fingers if he gets another one. Coming up next, we'll hear from Coach Ariema.
Popcorn, fresh popcorn, real popcorn sold by a real human being. Satisfaction guaranteed. Get your popcorn. Never stuck. Accepts bills and change. Popcorn. Popcorn.
You gotta believe in something. Every man on a mission.
Bring it home. Back to back.
Every city in a frenzy.
Get up, Loud City.
Tell me that you believe the NBA playoffs begin Saturday on ESPN and ABC.
You're not gonna fit. Unbelievable.
With the first pick, the Orlando Magic selects Shaquille O'Neal.
It's pretty hard with kids, you gotta get them.
This magic moment.
What could have been? I saw championships. We were Shaq and Kobe before Shaq and Kobe.
Why would you ever let Shaquille O'Neal leave?
What if I told you, in an instant, the magic was gone? ESPN Films presents a 30 for 30 film brought to you by Mini. This magic moment, Thursday at 9 on ESPN.
So everybody's going to have their new security card in their mailbox on Friday.
Under the locks.
This is goodbye, Mamba. This is your game. Kobe's final game. Wednesday on ESPN2.
Yeah, one last question. Does that come in cream? What's taupe now? Uh-huh.
Texas A&M, Alabama, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Wednesday on the SEC ESPN Network.
Well, Coach, Syracuse went on a 16-0 run there. You called a defensive timeout. What was your message to your team at that point?
You know, we knew at some point it could get like that. And no matter how hard you try, sometimes you can't stop it. We've got a veteran team in some ways. You know, our 3 seniors are veterans. And we made some uncharacteristic mistakes. You know, they sped us up a little bit. But we got it back. And now we'll see if we can't be a little more aggressive and a little bit smarter these next 10 minutes.
10 minutes to a title, Coach. What will you say to them when you take the huddle right now to remind them what to focus on?
Well, that last run reminded them what to focus on. So I don't think we're going to be looking too far ahead right now.
Sounds good, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Well, when you play for Gino, you can expect success. His 4-year players, 70 of them total. 68 have been to the Final Four. 52 of the 70 have won a national championship.
And keep in mind, Beth, this is a run in a program that prior to his arrival had one winning season, and now it's a great lineage. It's a generational type program. All of the stars have come back to watch them, and I truly wish more women could be coached by Gino Auriemma. I don't think it's easy. I think he coaches them hard, but I don't know a competitive athlete who wouldn't want to maximize their abilities, even if it means you're uncomfortable at times.
And you go back to the early days at Connecticut before Gamble Pavilion, they were playing inside a building on campus where you had the track team running around the outside during practice, the volleyball team, the wrestlers were all in there at the same time.
It was also a time at which, Chris Daly could be seen setting up chairs and bleachers and doing all kinds of things for the program. She and Gino actually shared one phone in a very small office. They called it a cubicle-sized office.
How far they have come since then. Underway here in the fourth quarter. Well, they have made so often tonight that breaking that pressure look easy, just getting the ball over the top, getting themselves into numbered situations. It's been limited windows of effectiveness for Syracuse in terms of their pressure. During the tournament, as Stewart has fouled on the drive, they've been averaging turning over opponents 20 times a game and scoring 20 points off of those turnovers. It's been a much different case so far today.
Well, Rebecca Lobo was talking about Connecticut is beating Quentin Hillsman's team at their own game. Offensive boards, three-point territory, and with their defense. There's been so much discussion, Beth, about where Breanna Stewart sits in the great history and lineage, not only of UConn, but of best players in the country. And I would say she will walk away as the highest achieving player in women's college basketball history. You look at what she has done in yet another national championship. 3-time first-team AP All-American, first one, a 2-time Wade Trophy winner. So for me, she's the highest achieving player, Beth. I would say I have to keep Diana Taurasi at the top of the list, a very 1-1A sort of circumstance, and maybe an equal one, and here's why. As you see Syracuse operating under duress. Stewie boards it again, and they're going to get her for a travel. The difference for Breanna is she has had, this year and last, Morgan Tuck and Mariah Jefferson, two of the best players in the country playing alongside her. When Diana won titles in 03 and 04, no disrespect to the role players around her, but that's exactly what they were, role players. It was Diana Taurasi's brilliance and Gino's brilliance. And if fate had not stepped in and Svetlana Abrosimova and Shea Ralph get hurt her freshman year, they could have played for 4. Yeah. And Gino talks all the time about fate and what role that plays when you're winning championships. And I have the utmost respect for Coach Auriemma and Breanna Stewart, because you know what Breanna Stewart entered in as? Breanna Stewart entered into college basketball as an unsure, uncertain, sort of shy kid. And she is walking out a woman, Beth. One who is the most dangerous basketball player in college basketball history. So don't tell me there's not value in college athletics. There's value in it. Because when you can compete at the highest level athletically and do it on the academic side, which UConn players consistently do, you can't ask for a better foundation. And I'm not talking about basketball success. I'm talking about life success.
It has been a remarkable run for her and these seniors. And when you think of all the greats over the years, back in the early days, Carrie Bascom, and then to Lobo and Rosati and Walters winning that first championship. The 4 players that were all drafted in the first 5 picks in that 2002 draft. Gino has talked about how Stewie will live amongst those giants of UConn basketball. And then there's also a little twinge of, gosh, I'm going to miss this kid. His phrase was, there is not another transcendent player like her coming around. And so while they depart the UConn campus, you start to look towards who's got next for Connecticut. They have 4 players we're watching here tonight, perhaps 5 that could be in the starting lineup next year for Connecticut, including Katie Lou Samuelson, who was out of this championship game with a broken foot.
I'm amazed at the growth of both Nafisa Collier and Gabby Williams this year. Talking about two kids who didn't look prepared when they were playing the big-time opponents early in the year. And their growth in such a short period of time is a tribute to the staff. And make no mistake how important Chris Daly is, and Shea Ralph and Marissa Mosley are to the success of this program. You don't do much on your own. You need great people around you, high-character people. Oh, by the way, they also have the Prep National Player of the Year, one of them anyways, Crystal Dangerfield, coming in to run the point as Mariah Jefferson departs. And Dangerfield is a recruit out of Tennessee. Shot clock winding down. Morgan Tuck fouled on the shot by Butler. That's the third on Butler. The Stewart triple-double watch, by the way, right now. 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Here's Holly Rope.
Well, as you're talking about, is Brianna Stewart one of the greatest to ever play at UConn? You know, Gino Auriemma has a great quote about her. He said that rip-your-heart-out mentality doesn't come naturally to her. We've had to help her. She's such a nice kid, such a great expression, a fun expression on her face all the time. But come March, she has a look in her eye, and she has ripped opponents' hearts out in March every single year of her career. So even though she does it in such a kind, friendly way, make no mistake, she's ripping it out, Doris.
Yeah, you know what, Holly, I like Gino's line about her. He said, Stewie pretends like she's humble and nice and kind and would rescue cats from trees. That's the impression she wants to give you, but she is a competitor at heart. And I like what Jim Boeheim said about her. And Shannon Spake was nice enough to ask the question for us. And he talked about what a physically gifted kid, but more importantly, what a tremendously nice kid Brianna Stewart is.
But no Husky's going to help any cats out of trees anytime soon. As she winds down her career. There was a nice moment during the starting lineups tonight when she looked at the coaching staff. She was the last one to be introduced, and in the darkness of the arena, you could still pick up her smiling and looking at the coaches saying, last time. And they announced her name, and out she came.
They make this look easy. And I know people have taken that as an opportunity to take pot shots at the women's game. I think it's disrespectful. They make it look easy because there's a level of expectation placed on this program every single day. Dad, react a little bit. Your girl is flat bowling right now.
21, 10, and 6 for Stewart on her final night in a UConn jersey. Sykes, he'll try for three, that won't go. Scrap for the loose ball, breakaway for Jefferson, just out of her reach. And out of bounds. Let's see if we can catch her, Stewie, during the intros, and look at the smile starting to form. My last one.
She doesn't look nervous there, Beth. She looks prepared to meet the moment, doesn't she?
I would guess that once you are into the championship game, there's a load off, and now let's just go out and play and have fun one more time.
How many times do you see in sports, though, where a streak is at stake or somebody's going for a back-to-back, and sometimes the pressure, you feel it. This is a group and a program that seems to wear so gracefully the chase for titles. It's not easy.
Morrison hits mid-range, timeout Orange. 5:09 to go for the national championship. Back to Indy in a moment.
You gotta believe in something. Every man on a mission.
Bring it home.
Back to back. Every city in a frenzy.
Get up, Loud City. Lock in, Dub Nation.
Can you feel that? Do you believe it's possible?
Rise up. Shock the world.
When there's no time, no hope, no way. Fires away. Bang! Bang! It's over! Tell me that you believe. The NBA playoffs begin Saturday on ESPN and ABC.
Today, I'm thrilled to announce the biggest innovation in the history of sports. Anything that you can watch on ESPN, you can now stream live on the ESPN app. But that's not all. Actually, that's it. Live streaming right in the app.
At Walt Disney World, awaken the stories. Awaken the Force. Awaken the heart. Awaken the night. All new. All 4 parks. Awaken summer.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, every day.
Back here at the National Championship game in Indianapolis. Amongst the dignitaries, the NBA Commissioner is with us, Adam Silver. Of course, the WNBA draft is coming up, and according to Rebecca Lobo, here's what she thinks those top 5 are going to look like.
That draft will be 1 week from this Thursday. Breanna Stewart, of course, has been the prohibitive favorite to be the top pick. Mariah Jefferson moving up the draft board. San Antonio has pick number 2, Danielle Robinson, an injury. But again, 3 of the top players in the WNBA draft. And how about those 3 players on Rebecca's draft board? They've got 51 of the 71 points.
So they are outscoring the Syracuse team by a deuce. Syracuse continues to fight. They force the turnover. Catch the Frozen 4 second semifinal from Tampa as Denver and North Dakota face off Thursday at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. And watch ESPN. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
You're just rubbing it in with the promos.
Friars will be back, DB. It may not go in Syracuse's favor here tonight, but let's not lose sight of the bigger picture here that while Connecticut has continued its dominant run, 3 first-timers that had never been to the Final Four were here this weekend in Syracuse, Washington, and Oregon State. We have seen a lot of parity around the country. And the message certainly for the number 4 seed to get here for the first time, hey, there's got to be a lot of other programs out there saying we can be the team to do it next year.
I have so enjoyed spending time with Quentin Hillsman and the Syracuse kids. Oh, boy. Alexis Peterson.
Peterson wincing as she reaches for the shoulder. It was a held ball situation, and you know when those occur, everybody's trying to yank that ball in their direction. The athletic trainers are out to check on her. Number 1 in orange there. Oh, and gets the arm caught underneath Kia Nurse. Such a key cog in their postseason run, the play of Alexis Peterson, and as well as Brittany Sykes and Butler. This backcourt for Syracuse has been fantastic.
This kid's going to be at the top of everybody's best point guards in the country next year. She has been, I know it's been a little bit of a struggle. You see the Syracuse crowd responding. That kid is tough as nails and can play. A tough moment for her in what has otherwise been a fantastic NCAA tournament. You know, in the 30 years prior at Syracuse, they had 2 tournament wins, and this year, 5 of them, to go deeper than they'd ever been before. Jefferson around and out. Offensive rebound and the putback for Gabby Williams. That's one of those players coming back, Beth, and she's improving with every repetition, Gabby Williams. I cannot, and Holly gave the report at the start of the show where Gabby told her, a year ago at this time I was swimming, I was lost. What a transformation for Gabby Williams. This is just her 11th start and the first in a while since Katie Lou Samuelson took over the job midseason, and then Katie Lou got hurt on Sunday in the semis. Williams herself has had to overcome an ACL injury over the course of her career. And here she is, sticking the mid-range. She makes that, and then in a year from now, expands out to the three-point line. She's going to have a difficult time checking this kid. 9 points for Williams tonight, getting the start. Fondren there with the pull-up. Cornelia Fondren with 16. In a bright spot for Syracuse tonight. But the countdown now starts to begin. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Holly?
Good news on Alexis Peterson. That right shoulder has been put back in place. She can return to the game.
That is good news indeed for Syracuse. Stewart off the miss. Morrison. Whistle and a foul as Stewart will help up her old buddy Sykes.
I like that those two continue to text this week. You know, you're playing a competitive game as you see Peterson on the sideline. But the fact that those two competitors remain good friends and don't let national championship stand in between them influence at all their friendship. You can compete.
There were a lot of conflicted allegiances in Central New York tonight with the hometown team and Stewart, the hometown kid, and Brianna. So great, she said, it's so cool not only to be here myself in a national championship game with my team, but to see the orange jerseys on the other side is amazing for that program as well.
She said it feels, in fact, Beth, like things have come full circle. She's already the first player in history to be named the most outstanding player 3 straight times. She said it when she came here. I want to win 4 titles. In as quiet and humble as fashion as you can make that kind of statement. The ability to play through contact, one of the major areas of improvement for her. And so 238 away from that 4th title and perhaps 4 most outstanding players. Can you put your arms around that, Beth?
24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. I'd say she is on her way, Doris, to getting that 4th. And to go 24-0 in your NCAA tournament career, you end every season on a winning note. And oh, by the way, then get ready to go try out for the U.S. Olympic team and probably go to Rio and play for gold.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that at her level right now, they're going to be able to keep her off the team. And I say that with all respect, because to make that kind of statement that I want to come and win 4, and to do it without sort of repeating it and tapping your own chest and tooting your own horn, it's never been what she's about. She just simply said when asked, this is what I would like to do, and has quietly gone about her business.
How about her post-game comment to Holly Rowe after the semis? Said, we're going to come back on Tuesday night and we're going to win it. The guarantee. And then the next day when we talked to her, she followed up and said, I took a little heat for that, but why wouldn't I say we're going to win? That's our intent. We're not coming back to lose on Tuesday night. Stepped it up at the right time as Tuck now with 19. Approaching 2 minutes to go for a 4th consecutive championship and the 11th for the UConn program. And there are some substitutions now, 3 of them coming to the scorer's table to get ready to check in. Will all the seniors come out here together? Timeout, Connecticut, just for substitutions, and here they go. Four years, 4 national championships for Stewart, Jefferson, and Tuck. Williams goes to the left hand. Collier in a shot clock violation. Not just a group hug for the players, Doris. It's the parents as well. Been together for 4 years. Doing a lot of traveling to games to watch their daughters play. There's your cover shot right there. And congratulations to that group of Orange seniors as well. Morrison, Fondren, Butler, perhaps Brittany Sykes in her final game, and Taylor Ford. The best season in Syracuse history.
Yeah, congratulations to the Syracuse seniors on a wonderful run and putting this program in the national consciousness.
And congratulations to the Connecticut Husky senior class, who have won at an extraordinary level, but they have done it with class and dignity, and they've played the game the right way. That's the scene in Gamble Pavilion, and they've stored the court to get a closer look at the big screen. Number 2 in white with the ball right here, by the way, is the other senior who's been at Connecticut for 3 years with the team, Brianna Polito, who will go out celebrating another title as well. And then be on her way to med school. The youngster they talked about in the pregame show who responded to a Brianna Stewart tweet to walk on and join the team. Shot clock is now off for UConn. Trying to get a shot for Polito. Here she goes, and she's got it. There's the capper for the former walk-on senior. 11th title in program history and the 4th in a row. The national championship goes to Connecticut for the 4th year in a row as the dynasty fulfills its destiny. An historic moment as a senior class wins a 4th championship in a row for the first time in college basketball, men's or women's history, as we take a look at tonight's Capital One Cup performance with Brianna Stewart.
This is the highest achieving collegian player in history. Brianna Stewart, the baddest woman in a Connecticut jersey, doing it in every phase of the game. The mid-range, the long range as a shot blocker. from three-point territory in the biggest moments on the game's biggest stage. This kid has delivered over and over and over again, Beth. How about to the tune of 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 of her 4 championship games. She has scored over 20. And Brianna now with Holly Rowe.
Well, Brianna, when you came in as a freshman, you said, maybe I'll win 4 national championships. But to say that and to accomplish that, what does it feel like tonight now?
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, that was our goal coming in here once we were freshmen, and, you know, to carry it out, win like this as seniors, it's unbelievable.
Your seniors did it in a big way. All 3 of you performed at your highest level tonight. What is it like to go out like that at your very best version of yourself?
We're going out with a bang. We're going out with a bang. That's it. No more. We did what we were supposed to do.
Your parents were up in the stands as the 3 seniors came out and they were hugging each other. Your parents are all up in the stands hugging each other. What has this journey been like for all of you?
You know, I created 2 best friends coming into college, and so did our parents. They're all best friends with each other, and, you know, we're going through the same stuff together.
All right, we'll see you back up on the podium in just a moment, young lady.
Okay.
The senior Stewart, Tuck, Jefferson combined for 56 points. Polito added 2 for the class. And the final 82-51. UConn a winner over Syracuse. Plenty more coverage still to come here in Indy shortly. So keep it tuned right here to ESPN. But now it's time to send it to SportsCenter.
And what they were able to do, there is no comparison. They won 4 straight championships. They did something unprecedented in women's college basketball history. And how often do you get to say that at UConn, a group doing something that has never been done before at that program?
I mean, it's just so remarkable. And to think that they've done it the past 2 years at least, with the target on their back night in and night out. You know, it's one thing to have 1 undefeated season or 1 championship or even 2 championships when you have a second season where the target is on you. But 3 and then, 3 seasons in a row where everyone's gunning for them every night, and still for them to come out and perform the way they did. And brilliant once again tonight.
We heard the guys talk about the numbers are staggering. I'm going to extend this here. 24-0 in the tournament when we're talking about the big 3. That is Stewart, Tuck, and Jefferson. They only trailed in the second half twice all season. In the tournament, they trailed for 1 minute and 44 seconds. Did you expect this team to be perfect from the start to the finish, this specific team this year?
I did.
Really?
I mean, I did. You have high standards for this group because you've seen it before, and you've seen what Brianna Stewart and Mariah Jefferson and Morgan Tuck have the ability to do. As long as those 3 players were out on the floor, as long as those 3 players were healthy, you felt good about this team. You felt good about their chances of winning.
Coming in this season, people expected them to go undefeated, expected them to win another national championship. I don't think what people expected was for them to not have any lulls. You know, there were times this season where they didn't perform well in a quarter, but rarely did it go 2 quarters, and it never was 3. They always found a way to regain themselves even after, just a little bit of a downside. Like on senior night at UConn, so many emotions. They shot, I think, 6% in that first quarter, but it was fine in the second quarter, fine in the third. So they just were able to sustain a high level of play night in and night out.
See Stewart hugging CD, longtime assistant at UConn. Emotional moment for the entire staff. They huddled up together around Gino Auriemma as he wins his 11th national championship. We see some of the former players coming back. Sue Bird. We saw Maya Moore earlier. Rebecca, what does this mean to all the players that Gino got the 11th national championship to surpass John Wooden?
Well, Gino was talking earlier in the week about, being in a room of his former players, people that never played with one another from completely different eras. And he said, there's just a family and a camaraderie there. So I think the players that came before are proud of what this has turned into. Even a player like Maya Moore, who was in the middle of it, who won a couple of championships herself, I think they still feel a connection. And as long as Gino is the coach there, I think that connection will exist between the former players and the current ones.
You were a part of the first one. Did you ever envision it would come to this, that he would build a program that is a dynasty marker?
I don't think anyone could envision something that hadn't happened before. I think it's easy for kids now to say, someday I'm going to play for this team and we're going to win all these championships. But it was unheard of in those days. So I don't think anyone, including Coach Auriemma, could have foreseen this.
You see the celebration continue, a team that has won 75 straight games, and now the first ever four-peat in Division I women's basketball history. Let's send it down to Holly Rowe with much more on the champions.
Here to present the 2016 NCAA Championship Trophy is the president of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, and Chris Dawson, the Division I Women's Basketball Committee Chair.
Well, first of all, I'd really like to ask everyone to thank the other teams that were here in the Final Four. We had a wonderful championship here in Indianapolis, including the Division III and Division II championships. But now, on behalf of the entire NCAA, it's a great pleasure to present to this remarkable group of athletes a fourth in a row national championship. Coach Auriemma.
Well, Coach Auriemma, I feel like we say this question every year, but it doesn't change because your team keeps winning, is how are you able to make something so very difficult look so simple year after year?
There's three key ingredients that go into this kind of success. 1, 2, 3. When you have players like these three, and they're the kind of individuals that they are, and the kind of character that they have, and the way they conduct themselves every day. I've never been around a better group of great players that really, really, really love the game, appreciate the game, love their teammates, and they've done something that obviously has never been done before, ever. So that means it was really hard to do.
Tonight, you've been able to accomplish something that no one's been able to do. I know that you're uncomfortable with this comparison, but John Wooden, you pass him tonight for the most titles. Your name is now above his. How does that make you feel to have achieved this with UConn and these ladies on this stage?
The first thing I thought about when you told me that if we won, you were going to ask me this question. The first thing I thought about was last night. There was something like, I don't know, like 20-some of my former players, and we were all in one room. And I remember just taking a step back and looking over at them and saying, this is an unbelievable scene, and they were all here today. And so what those 11 national championships mean to me is how many great players I've had the opportunity to coach, how many great people have come through our program. And doesn't matter whose name I'm above, whose name I'm under, whose name I'm next to. As long as I have those names of those players in my memory, I'm good.
Your team has had a very special theme all year. One Julius Caesar said it to the Roman Senate, Veni Vidi Vici. Can you share with us what that theme means and what it meant to your group this season?
A lot of these guys, they know I'm a big history buff and being Italian, and I think it might have been the Ohio State game. I'm not sure where we played. But I said, this year should be like a Roman campaign. We should just walk into every building, and then when we're done, just sum it up in 3 words, And I wrote them up on the board, and they fell in love with it, and it became their thing. And now There are no more places to conquer. So we're done.
Well, now please let me present the most outstanding player of the 2016 Women's Final Four, Breanna Stewart. This makes the 4th time in history that Breanna has been named the most outstanding player. No other player in history has ever done this. What makes you at your best in March, Breanna?
This is when it's most exciting. This is when you're going after championships, and why wouldn't you be your best in March? Simple. Simple.
You had some great help, your teammates, your fellow seniors. There was a very precious moment at the end of the game when you're all able to walk off the floor together and that big group hug with your coach. What was that like for you as you wrap up your career?
It was perfect. You know, we talked about it yesterday. We wanted to all come out and just have great games and finish things off the way we started. And to play with these guys is unbelievable. I think they deserve a lot more credit than they get. But, you know, I'm going to miss them. I'm going to miss them. That's for sure.
And for you, Mariah, as you wrap up your career at UConn, you came up to me and you said, that's 4 straight. That's 4 straight. What are you the most proud of these championships that you've achieved?
Just the way I've been able to do it with my teammates. I mean, we've struggled a lot, and a lot of people haven't seen it. So I just got to give all the glory to God and my family and my teammates, because without them, this would not be possible.
And for you, Morgan Tuck, you've been such a crucial part of this.
No, keep it in the thing.
She's bossing us around up here on the stage.
You have to keep it. I take it out.
This is a Marine Saber that was presented to Coach Auriemma. This is from the Marine Corps, a very special presentation. What does this mean to you guys, the mental toughness, the strength, all the pressure you've had to accomplish this to finally do it?
It means everything. You know, this is a goal not even just us 3, but all of us had, was to come out and show that we're the best team in the country, and I think we're able to do that.
What does it mean for you guys to be able to walk off the court together and go into history side by side?
It means a lot. You know, I don't think anyone's going to do it. Hopefully, that won't break our record. But, you know, I think for us to be able to do that, you know, that just speaks to our program. You know, all the past players, the coaches, everything that they've done for us, you know, they've allowed us to get here today.
Will you be playing again for UConn next season, or will you be playing in the WNBA?
Come on, Holly. What did she say? She asked me.
It's a secret.
Okay, well, we tried. Tell us the significance behind this sword and why you're bringing it out today.
In the name of you. Thanks, Stewie Howard, put it in there. All right, I'm getting. In the name of UConn women's basketball, I knight Breanna Stewart and Mariah Jefferson as the great UConn women's basketball players.
She doesn't need anything. She's that special. We don't have to say anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your 2016 4-time national champions, the UConn Huskies. Beth?
Thank you very much, Holly. The 11th title in Connecticut history, a 6th undefeated season, and of course that unprecedented 4th in a row. And what a story it's been for Breanna Stewart, Morgan Tuck, and Mariah Jefferson. They wanted to win 4 straight Doris Burke when they got to Storrs, and now they have completed that task. In the long storied history of Connecticut women's basketball, these 3 women have gone where no one else has gone, and I think you can get a sense in Holly Rowe's questions to them about this is as much about character and high character as it is about their basketball abilities. These 4 as freshmen struggled, and it created a bond that was unbreakable. And the 3 strands together, Beth, along with the best coach in the history of sport, Gino Auriemma, and this is what you get. You've gotten Breanna Stewart with another magical
moment in the biggest of moments here at the national championship. 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, the MOP for the 4th time.
This is the baddest woman in college basketball right now. She ends her career the way she started, with 4 Most Outstanding Player awards in the national championship. She has been a shot-blocking phenom. She has turned herself into an offensive force regardless of where they put her on the floor. And you've earned that, Stewie. Smile away, kid. That's hard work coming to fruition.
Her 4th title, and when you play as a team the way they have, you also become the winningest team in NCAA tournament history. Tonight, their 151st win. Thanks so much to everybody in our production, including 15 years of excellence from our producer, Phil Dean. Now let's get you back upstairs to Kevin Nagandi.
Beth, Doris, Holly, thank you so much. Excellent job back here with Kara Lawson and Rebecca Lobo. So we could be watching, if Morgan Tuck does announce top 3 picks in next week's WNBA draft. And Breanna Stewart, the 4 MOPs, she joins Michael Jordan and Cynthia Cooper in all of sports to win 4 finals MVP in the state of basketball. Where do you have Breanna Stewart when it comes to all-time rankings as a college player in the women's game?
Yeah, I've had her at the top of the list, frankly, since the NCAA tournament began. So all this does is just continue to add to that. I think when you look at Breanna Stewart, and she has all of the records. I mean, she has the most championships, she has those MOPs, but I also look at her dominance on both ends of the floor as a collegiate player. The only NCAA player to have 400-plus blocks and 400-plus assists. 4 national championships. I mean, I think she's not got a great case. I think she is the best women's player in college basketball history.
Something I've been thinking about throughout the course of the tournament a lot, something you and I have talked about a lot through the course of the tournament. I've been vacillating between Diana Taurasi and Stewart. You know, what it comes down to is winning championships, and no one has won 4 championships. No one had the nerve to come in as a freshman and declare that they want to and then back it up. So I agree with Kara. She goes down as the greatest UConn player in history, and at least the players I saw, the greatest player in the history of women's college basketball.
And next week, she's going to hear her name first announced in the WNBA draft as the big 3 right there on stage, leading UConn to their 4th straight national championship. Gino RM is going to join us later in the program. Let's go to our big 2. Back to John and Steve.